Hello trainers, Ganeto here, and today we're diving together into Great League with a fantastic line, having up on the lead the Galarian Stunfisk, at the back the Noctowl as a safe switch, and the closer, one of the best Pokemon to do that work, the Shadow Swampert. So if you have a regular Swampert, you can always use that over the Shadow, but I believe that the Shadow is gonna perform slightly better over there on that closing factor. Having here the Swampert doing a lot of work against the Drapion, and of course now we can pressure even more even the Altaria, and that's why I love Shadow Swampert. Even when the move is resisted, look at how much damage we can still do to a Pokemon like Altaria, which can resist our move and also is pretty bulky. So we have put it below 50%, almost at the range of the Rock Slide, actually at the range of the Rock Slide. Down they go, they got the Toxic Rock at the back, so now my Noctowl can go in and start sweeping their team with those Sky attacks. Of course, all we have to do is to expect the bait here, but instead they get to the nuke. Down we go. Can we still finish off with the Stunfisk? Because if they get to double Mud Bomb, perhaps that is gonna be kinda problematic for us. We got to block, but still that final Mud Shot is just gonna finish them off. Into the next one now with the Swampert up on the lead. We hate to see it out of there to the Noctowl. We got the Skarmory on the switch, and now we just have to focus on those Shadow Balls. This is why I like a Noctowl on the switch. It has access to a very nice and unique moveset, and with Shadow Ball you get coverage even against those Steel type Pokemon, which is pretty neat. The only natural counter that it can get is gonna be the Lantern, but still those Shadow Balls are still gonna hurt, so that they have to spend some energy at some time to destroy you down, while Bastiodon is gonna be, I believe, the better counter for the Noctowl. So that's why we're seeing a lot of Bastiodons lately on the format. Having now the Brave Bird, which means that we can absolutely nuke it down with the next move, which is my Rock Slide. Just gonna go for the nice, just in case I can farm down. This is not gonna happen. The debuff is pretty harsh on that Skarmory, and now the return with the Swampert. I know I have to block at least once because I have a lot of energy to spare, and I'm just gonna go straight for the Earthquake. They're gonna block exactly at the point I wanted them to do so, because now not only I have my Stunfisk alive, but also we have blocked the Earthquake, which means we can go pretty tough at them with the Hydro Cannon, finishing off Swampert, and whatever there is at the back, of course it's gonna be the Fire type. We're just gonna nuke them down with our remaining energy. Mantine, the next one, looking pretty solid with this one, so I'm just gonna fast forward because we were battling about 2 minutes. This is not an overreaction, it was 2 minutes with Bubble Beams against my Rock Slide, and those moves did nothing to each other, so we're just gonna skip all that. We're gonna lose eventually, but I want to preserve my Pokemon for the end game because I have a feeling that this this battle might go to overtime after all that stalling up on the lead with the Mantine. So we're gonna see now the Bastiodon at the back, which means that we're gonna get destroyed, and that's what I told you before. Noctowl might have Lantern as its natural counter, but Bastiodon is an even worse. So down we go to that Pokemon, but still now we got the Swampert, which is gonna work as a closer once again. Gonna get there now to the Hydro Cannon. Let's see what is gonna be their final Pokemon. They return with the Mantine, which is a weird choice, and at this point I have also secured the times up scenario, so they're just gonna go in with that Deoxys, and because we're Shadow, 2 of those Hydro Cannons are just gonna seal the deal, and all I want to do now is to catch the move on the Stunfisk. We can do that successfully, doing a pretty solid work there with the switch, keeping the shield alive, and now we're just gonna get to the Hydro Cannon for once and for twice, finishing off this Deoxys, and that's gonna be a great game, almost at the time's up point. You saw the timer up there, that was pretty scary, but still we had more Pokemon than them. Into the next one, not the final one, come on Ganeto, you still have a long way to go here, and we're gonna be able to do a lot of solid work against that Sandslash. So I'm expecting them to go for the Bulldoze, but I can of course one-shot them down with my Earthquake, and if I were that Sandslash, perhaps I could let the first one go through, because a lot of trainers tend to go for the Rock Slide bait for this matchup. Doesn't matter, still able to get there to another Earthquake. They are gonna block it, and I'm just gonna gonna pressure even more now. We have to get hit by a move here, no reason at all to block. Down goes both of them shields, and now we just need to go in with the Swampert. At this point I was not sure if I was gonna win the CMP, so that's why I overfarmed, and that was a mistake obviously, because Swampert definitely wins that CMP over the Sandslash. Down they go right now before they reach the next move, and we have also some energy for the end game. Oh yes, now I remember this much. They have the Cresselia, so we have to go for the Earthquake and try to catch the move on the 6th Psycho Cut on the Noctowl. Gonna do that successfully. At the back they have the Azumarill. The match is not over yet. Their backline is absolutely horrible for my Swampert, so we're just gonna keep pressuring with those Sky attacks, able to get there to the move. Is this gonna be Ice Beam? Yes it is, but still Noctowl can hold on to its weird IVs that I have here, and of course pressure even more with those Sky attacks. This Sky attack is gonna bring the Azumarill pretty low. At the point we can pressure even more after a perfect energy management game. My switch timer is up. This is a race to the charge attack. We can definitely outspeed to the Grass Knot. So here comes the Hydro Cannon for the finishing blow, and Cresselia is out of the way. Stunfisk against Shiftry, not a very favorable matchup, and I really love the spice by this trainer, but Shiftry is an underrated Pokemon overall. Definitely a spice one, but still can do a lot of solid work against the enemy. And just remember that it carries the move Hurricane for those fighters, which are pretty much everywhere. I have seen Scrafties and Medichams all the way around, so a Hurricane can definitely surprise a fighter if you can play correctly with your Shiftry. However, here we're gonna focus on a much more meta Pokemon, the Stunfisk, and you can see that they can still reach to that final blow against my Stunfisk. No reason at all to go ahead and shield though, because I can definitely farm down now with my Noctowl, and all I want to do is to tank one move while preserving the shields for the Swampert. Shadow Swampert definitely an MVP for this Great League format for me right now so far. Having access now to the Sky attack, we're gonna use it, and of course now we're just gonna focus on revealing my third Pokemon, which is the Swampert of course, and they have at the back the Hypno. So Hypno definitely a Pokemon we do not like with the Shadow Swampert, with any Shadow Pokemon, because those confusions really do a lot of solid work, and Hypno is also a bulky option for a Psychic one. So we're just gonna try and block the first one. They get to the Fire Punch, which gives me some time to farm up a little bit more energy. If that is gonna be a CMP, well, we absolutely lost them. Oh, they are gonna go down. Okay, I was not remembering that correctly. So now we're gonna go for the Hydro Cannon, putting that Toxapex at the Sky attack range almost. I think they can survive here. Yes, they can, but still they cannot survive the fallen wing attacks, and we're gonna wrap this thing up. Pokepuppy in the next one with the Diggersby up on the lead. Not the best one, so we're just gonna go ahead and do solid work with our Noctowl, able to get there now to that Sky attack. They're gonna take it, and they're gonna be a Powder Snow version of Alola Ninetales. I do not like my odds here, but the Weather Ball is still gonna hurt, and we can survive it somehow. So because they went for back-to-back, you know what, I'm just gonna go right straight ahead with the Sky attack, and that was a pretty good play by my enemy. They were counting my moves, so they knew I was at that second Sky attack for sure, so they want to prevent that from happening. However, now I can go in with the Stunfisk and start doing some solid work with the total farm down. They're gonna get there now to their own move, Weather Ball. Yeah, I know, we can definitely take that, but the farm down is unavoidable for them. Gonna get there now to that Earthquake for the Diggersby. Gonna put that Pokemon at a range that the Hydro Cannon can finish it off, and they have their own second Fairy type Pokemon, which is the Granbull with the Charm, and we can definitely bring it to no HP with a double Hydro Cannon. Out they go, out of the way, and all I want to do now is to focus on my Hydro Cannon being landed on that Diggersby. We can do that. This is gonna be the end for the Diggersby and wrap this thing up for our team. That was a pretty weird battle. They had a Shadow Charmer at the back, they had the Ninetales, they got the Diggersby, a pretty solid line, but still we absolutely managed to overcome all those obstacles, especially after that very bad lead and very bad switch. Having now this Rock Slide on the bait for the Lantern is gonna work towards our advantage, and now we can pressure for the Earthquake. we can definitely take both of them shields out of the way with that first bait, so we're just gonna keep pressuring here for the earthquake, and since I'm getting pretty close, I'm just gonna sacrifice the shield. With my shield out of the way, perhaps things are kinda tricky, and they managed to catch on the Noctowl. That was not fortunate for me, and I still have one more ground type at the back, so this team is working like an ABA team, because we want to surprise the enemy with a second ground type, and is taking advantage of the differences that both Stunfisk and Swampert share, so we're just gonna be able to destroy them down here with our final sky attack, and of course the lantern will return. So that means that all we have to do is to rely on the Swampert to do the remaining work. Surf here is gonna take us out, Swampert comes in, and I just need to tank one move while the second must be caught, and all depends on the final Pokemon. What is it gonna be, trainers, though? Because we still have to pressure for that Hydro Cannon, bring that Lantern to no HP with a Shadow bonus. This is a race to the charge attack. Will this Earthquake be enough? And boom! Of course it is! Shadow Swampert delivering the hard-hitting blow, and that is gonna be a wrap for this battle. Into the next one now with the Gliscor up on the lead. You'll love to see it, I'm not that sure, because the Rock Slides are never enough to finish off that Pokemon, and they got the Shadow Aboma Snow on the switch. Fortunately for me, I can go here for those Sky attacks and pressure a lot that Aboma Snow. However, I cannot reach to the second one, and I end up getting farmed down. So now my Stunfisk can go in, because I know they have the Gliscor, no reason at all to block here. I'm just gonna preserve my shields for the end game with the Swampert. Gonna get there now to the Rock Slide, they are gonna take it. Gliscor returns into the battle. I know they have to sacrifice some energy in order to bring me to no HP. Wing attack really doesn't do a lot of damage, but they're making a very nice choice here, over farming a lot. However, they get to that Earthquake, and I'm happy to absolutely get that on my Stunfisk, doesn't matter at all. Gonna block the next move, the Night Slash, and I'm just gonna keep pressuring with my Swampert. And overall, you're seeing that in the end, we're just gonna have the upper hand here against this Stunfisk, because my Swampert is just gonna do tremendous amount of work. Gonna get to the nice, because no reason at all to overdo things over here. We got the double Hydro Can, we can also win the CMP, which is pretty nice, and that is gonna lock this win as well. Shadow Swampert delivering a lot of pressure on the enemy, Gliscor is getting out of the way, and that's gonna be another great game for our team. Into the final one now with a Bastiodon upon the lead. You love to see, trainers. At the back they got the Trevenant, and of course we're just gonna wall them down. Excuse me, trainer, but we just got algorithmed. Let's get there now to the total farm down against this Trevenant, because there is no reason at all to do anything else. I know that the Bastiodon is gonna return, and Bastiodon is getting pretty scary for my Noctowl. I think that's why they did not throw right now. They want to farm as much energy as possible from my Noctowl, so just gonna get there now to that Shadow Ball, and with that Trevenant out of the way, perhaps my Swampert is gonna have a much easier way to finish them off. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pressure a lot with my Shadow Ball, and that is gonna be a very nice play for my team, because now I can go in with my Stunfisk, keep hidden my Swampert, not gonna reveal it yet. And at the back they got the Medicham, so the match is not over yet, because Medicham is still gonna be a very strong option for Great League, and he can also destroy down my other two Pokemon, not the Noctowl but the Swampert and the Stunfisk with shields up. So I'm just gonna be able to pressure a lot here with my Hydro Cannons, and all I want to do is to land at least once, because I want my Stunfisk to have the final blow on the Medicham. Since I have a Shadow Swampert, we can deal a lot of damage, bring it to a point that one Rock Slide might just do the trick. So let's see together, trainers, will this be enough? And yes, no it is not. Bastiodon comes in, and I think this is gonna be it for them. They stand no chance at all. So that's all, trainers. Thank you for watching, thank you for staying till the end. Just be sure to leave a huge like before you go, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, and I hope to see you all into the next one. Take care, trainers.